Hi, everybody. It's Wendy Wisdom coming to you with some food for thought on the topic of the disease to please or people pleasing. So, what is people pleasing? People pleasing is just a pattern of behavior that we are conditioned to operate in where we are acknowledging everyone else's needs above our own. Okay, and so we've learned to want to make other people happy, especially women. We are givers, givers, and givers. We set ourselves on fire every day to warm other people up. When other people do not return the favor, we continue to give and give and give, and wonder why we feel depleted. Wonder why we are feeling rejected and unworthy because we set our relationships up in that manner, not realizing that we have to set some boundaries, not realizing that pleasing others need to have a balance. Because when you're in a constant state of rejecting your own needs, not even understanding that you have to first make sure your cup is filled before you start giving to other people. When you do that, you set yourself up to be filled with anxious distress, your spirit to be vexed, for you to constantly feel like people are taking from you and you're not getting your needs met. And that's really what it is. A lot of times in childhood, our emotional needs are not being met. So we have been trained to do things to get that attention, that validation, that acceptance and approval from our loved ones. And we rarely got it, but we continue to give and give and appease them in hopes that something would change. Then what we do is carry that into adulthood, and so we find ourselves in relationships and friendships, even professional affiliations, where we are overextending ourselves as a way to appease others, to be validated, to be accepted, to even be liked. And so I don't want you to beat yourself up about it, especially women, because again, it's something very prevalent amongst women, but men also are people pleasers as well. So here's how you can address this. First step is to acknowledge I tend to give and give, and I need to know how to value myself. I want people to meet me halfway. I don't want to feel like people are just taking from me. I want to feel like I'm special too. I want people to take the burden off of me and bless me sometimes, or at least say thank you. Do you know that there's people who have sacrificed greatly for loved ones, friends, whoever, and in return, they don't even get a thank you. They don't even get that person trying to even honor them in some way as a sign of appreciation. That erodes your self-esteem. That makes you feel even more less than. So you have to be mindful of the type of relationship dynamics that you have going on so that you don't further sink yourself into depression, anxious distress, feeling unworthy and invalidated and unappreciated. So what you can do to help yourself rise above this is to set healthy boundaries. Stand up within yourself and say, guess what? It's time for me to acknowledge, what do I want as a woman? What do I want as a person? And go about the business of writing that down and tackling one thing at a time. This is what I like. This is how I'm going to go about getting it. Let me see who I can have to help me. Or, speak a word to me. Be honest with me about the patterns of behavior they see in myself. The second thing you can do to help yourself is to realize that when we're people pleasers, we do it with the motive, right? And of course, the motive is to get liked, to be appreciated. But also, I want you to consider that some people pleasers wear it as a badge of honor. They like to boast and brag, or I've helped this person do this, or I've helped him do that, I've helped her do this. So I want to just let you know, people don't really respect people pleasers because people pleasers don't even respect their own boundaries. People pleasers don't value their time, their presence, their energy. And so a lot of times you attract people to you who don't value you either. So keep that in mind. It's not good to boast and brag about I help, help, help. I set myself on fire constantly to warm other people up, and no one returns anything to me. No one appreciates me. No one says thank you. What that is that you're attached to feeling like you've been wrong. You're in a posture of feeling like a victim. All you have to do is shift your mindset. All you have to do is shift your perspective. You don't have to constantly over sacrifice yourself and sit back hoping and praying that you get some appreciation or that it will make somebody change. A taker is conditioned to take, like a giver is conditioned to give. So at some point, when you keep getting hit with that belt, okay, you got to reach up and grab it at some point. You got to stop it. You got to block it. You got to do something to help yourself to say, I don't have to tolerate this. And don't do it with a spirit of meanness. And a lot of times we do that when we feel like, oh, well, this person's not appreciating me. This is a one-sided situation. First of all, acknowledge that you've probably set it up that way. You've allowed it. You've accommodated it. You've tolerated it, which is okay. But you get to set a boundary and say no more. Or this no longer works for me in that way. This is what I need. If you can't meet that, then we're going to have to make some adjustments. You don't have to do it and vilify the other person, make them a bad person. No one is wrong or bad here, but you have to be real with yourself about why it is that you're people pleasing and what it is that you're hoping to get. And then go about the business of fulfilling your own needs, validating yourself, esteeming yourself. Write some affirmations down because you have to affirm yourself. If you're looking for people to validate you, esteem you, edify you, you're giving away your power still. Don't give people that type of power because people are too fickle. One minute we're feeling good about life, the next minute we're feeling a little down. And when I'm feeling down, I may not have the energy and desire to stroke your ego or to even say thank you for listening to me the other day. I may not even acknowledge that because the space I'm in is at a low frequency, is at a low vibration. So when I'm struggling, I may not even have the capacity to build you up. Okay, so it's not that I'm doing it deliberately. I'm going through something myself. So I say all that to say that you can take your power back, set your boundaries, affirm yourself, stop doing things with a motive to be liked and pleased because a lot of times you don't get it back. And that's why you're constantly avoiding dealing with your own self and you're constantly in the posture of people taking, and you never receiving even a fraction of what you give out. You're better than that. You're more worthy than you are acknowledging. And I understand that you may have been conditioned that way, but every pattern of behavior and every mindset can be shifted. It can be altered. It can be adjusted. You have to challenge yourself to do it. So if you want to get rid of the disease to please, you're going to have to just stand up to yourself and realize I've been fearing rejection. I've been fearing abandonment. I've been fearing people walking away from me. And at the end of the day, if you really think about it, if a person is only in your life to take from you, you're not losing anything if they walk away anyway. Actually, you should want people to show you their true colors. Let them walk. They're going to need you before you need them. Let them walk. But a lot of times we're fearful of that. We fear receiving the truth of this person never loved me the way I love them. This person would never give to me the way I've given to them or sacrifice for me the way I've sacrificed for them. And that pain is too much to bear. So that's why we continue to give as a distraction from what the real truth is. But guess what? Truth, you can suppress it, but it never goes away. And anything we have within us that causes us any type of emotional distress, it starts to come out in physical ailments. Keep that in mind. When you start having health conditions, emotional challenges, there's things that are in you that have not been resolved. There's things within you, in your mind, your body, soul, and spirit that have not been healed. You've not faced them totally. No one is totally healed. We all are going through a journey and a process to evolve spiritually and mentally and physically and in every aspect of our being. However, when you acknowledge that this is something that has consumed me, I feel that I'm not getting back a fraction of what I give out, it's time for you to do some self-assessment and to go about making sure that you fill your own cup so that you stop feeling depleted and used and abused, because you're not a victim, you're not a child, you are a warrior, you are victorious, you are somebody who can set boundaries and have people that belong in your life stick around when you set those boundaries, because they're going to appreciate it. They're going to understand it because they value you. And those who do not value you, wish them well. Don't vilify them or tear them down, but say, thank you for showing me the relationship that we have. Okay? I appreciate it. I wish you well. Thanks. Anyway, guys, so that is my wisdom keys on people pleasing. You don't have to keep setting yourself on fire to warm other people up. Validate yourself, appreciate and honor yourself, then you'll attract people who will do the same. All right, guys, have a good one.